Hey there, CrossFit Queen Creek. How's it going? Coming at you from the garage gym again, this time for Friday, April 3rd. We got a good one for you, but first, time to give some Wodify shout outs. We had quite a few people actually log in and log their scores from this workout today. What a cooker that one was, huh? That one got spicy. Whew, that was a good one. I liked it though. That was a lot of fun. I got to work on my double unders. I kept really tripping up on those double unders. But anyway, let's get some shout outs going on here. We got Ed, Ian, and Richard. Kudos to you guys. You got all your stuff logged in there into Wodify. And for the ladies, Jahili, Adrian, Dottie, Andrea, good job, guys. Super proud of you. I'm glad to see that you're logging your results. That is going to pay dividends later on down the line when we go back through and do a similar workout and you're able to go back in and see what you did, what kind of time domain, what kind of weight were you pushing, what kind of, all kinds of different stats that will actually populate and pull up just because you're logging that stuff in Wodify. So again, kudos to you guys. I hope to see more and more of you logging into Wodify. But let's get started with tonight's. Tonight, before we get into the actual movements, I want to talk about your goal. Okay, because we're working on an EMOM, it's a very unique situation. We get the opportunity not only to focus on our form, but what I want you guys to do is I want you to find your sweet spot where you really feel good. Your form is right, the weight feels good, you've got some good repetitions, and then I want you to take it and I want you to turn it up just a little bit, okay? We can do this by either increasing number of reps in the given minute, or we can do this by upping the weight and keeping the reps the same. As long as our form is good, let's turn up the volume a little bit on either reps or weight. Time to push ourselves a little bit. Let's get comfortable being uncomfortable. This is how we get better. This is how we progress, okay? So the stimulus that we're going to be looking at tonight through a couple of the different movements that we're going is we've got full body nervous system taxing going on. We're going to be doing some snatches. So our body is going to be having to react instantaneously, everything almost it is a chain reaction, but everything almost all at once. So we're really training the full body nervous system during our snatches that we're working on this evening. And then we're going into isolating combos, meaning we're working our core and our upper, and then we're working our core and our lower, right? And we're also working on some pretty serious mobility in our overhead squats tonight. We're going to be working on overhead mobility with getting those shoulders back, getting those arms locked out, working on the thoracic area back here, and we're also working on the lower lumbar and the hip mobility, getting down into that squat position, ankle mobility, things of that nature. So overhead squats are a problem spot for some that are having some trouble with mobility. So this is a really good workout for working on those things. So let's go ahead and let's get fired up and start talking about the workout that we have going on tonight. So we're going to start out with a 400-meter run, all right? Now with a 400-meter run, if you don't have that actually mapped out, the time domain difference for this would be about 2 minutes of running. So if you're running in your backyard or if you're running in the neighborhood, start your stopwatch and just calculate out running for about 2 minutes, and that should be sufficient to match up for a 400-meter run. Next, we're going to be moving into plank holds with shoulder touches. So I'm going to have Alea come on in. She's going to help with the demonstrating. So let's go ahead and back up a little bit. Let's get everything in the frame. So let's go ahead and drop into a plank position. Our hands are underneath our shoulders. We're keeping our core nice and tight. We're not soggy in the middle. And while we're in the plank position, we're going to go ahead and do shoulder taps. So if we can swing around front here and take a look. All right, so while we're in the plank position, let's go ahead and let's tap the shoulders. Good. And we're going to go through this and we're going to do this for 20 repetitions. All right, very good. Thank you. Now, from here, we're going to move into push-ups. So we're going to do 10 push-ups. So you can swing back over there to the other side, please. There we go. All right. And again, we stay in that plank position. Nice tight core. We're not soggy in the middle and we're not stink bugging. Then from here, we're going to drop down and our whole body's going to move as one unit. And then we're going to squeeze and we're going to come up. Good. Let's do 2 more. Down and up. 1 more. Excellent. Very good. Okay, relax. All right. After we're done with those 10 push-ups, we're gonna move into 5 inchworms. So with an inchworm, we're standing tall, feet together. We're gonna bend at the hips, come down and touch the floor. Then we're gonna walk our hands out until we get to a plank position. From the plank, nice tight core, we're gonna drop down to the floor, push up, and then we're gonna walk our hands back to our feet without moving our feet. Once we've reached our feet again, then we're gonna go ahead and stand up nice and tall, and that is 1 rep. So we're gonna go through that, and we're gonna do that 5 times. Next, after this, we're gonna go through 10 repetitions of sumo squats. So if we could please turn, face that direction, good. Okay, we're gonna start with a slightly wider stance, or a considerably wider stance than what we would in a normal air squat, where our toes are going to point outwards ever so slightly, right? And just like a normal air squat, we're gonna start with our hips coming back first, keeping our chest tall, tracking the knees out over the toes, dropping in below parallel. Notice that the hip crease is below the top of the knee, all right? And then come on back up. If we do 2 more of those, please. So we drop down and up, and 1 more. Excellent. So that is gonna be your sumo squat. We're going through that for 10 repetitions. Next, we're going into kind of a new movement here. It's called the swimmer. All right, so we're gonna start by laying face down on the floor, and we're gonna extend our arms all the way forward. Now, what's gonna happen here is Alea's gonna move her arms back, leading with her elbows, tucking her arms in, and coming all the way back. Imagine you're trying to stay as streamlined as possible while you're swimming. So it's almost like with that breaststroke, right? As we pull back, we stay in nice and tight, and we keep that through. So there we go, moving those arms up and down as close to the body, letting the elbows lead the way, back and forth. Very good. Okay, you can pop back up. So that is our warm-up. 400-meter run, or 2 minutes of running, 20 plank hold shoulder touches, 10 push-ups. The scaled version for a push-up would be to go to the knees. Can we see that real quick? So we go to our knees, feet up off the ground, nice tight plank position, down to the floor, and back up. Notice that her elbows are not flaring out. They're back at about a 45-degree angle. Let's see that one more time. Very good. And back up. Good. That helps for preventing shoulder injuries. We don't want to flare the elbows out when we're doing those push-ups. Then the inchworms, that's where we stood tall, bend at the hips, touch the floor, walk the hands out, do a push-up, and then walk the hands back into the feet. Sumo squats and swimmers. So there you have the warm-up. Let's go ahead and let's move into the EMOM that we have going here. Okay? Now, since we're getting into the EMOM, let's go through this one more time. And EMOM stands for what? Every minute on the minute. So, good time to talk about our timer. If you have not already done so, I recommend downloading the Smart WOD timer. I'll show you again. Let's get a good focus on that. That guy right there. Can we see that on the camera? Perfect. All right, when we go ahead and we open that, you can download this from the Google Play Store or the App Store if you have an iPhone. But what we're looking for here, when you open it up, we're gonna go to EMOM. Now it's going to say every 1, or we can change the time duration, but we're going for every minute on the minute. So we're gonna leave it at 1, and we're gonna go for 20 minutes. So every 1 for 20. Once we hit start, and this goes down, it's showing you that it's got 20 rounds. It's gonna start the countdown from 10. And once it gets to 3, it'll start beeping. And it's gonna run down. It'll tell you when you're at your 30-second mark, and it'll also count down the last 5 seconds as well. So we'll go ahead and pause that, and we'll get into the movements. So, first movement that we have is going to be the power snatch. So Alea, come on in, all right? We're gonna talk a little bit about the power snatch. Now, this first workout is gonna be if you have some gym equipment, if you have a barbell, and you have some bumper plates, then we're gonna go over this. We've got 2 other versions of this workout we're gonna go over this evening. One is for full equipment, one is for limited equipment, and the other is for no equipment, all right? So first things first, we're gonna talk about finding our snatch grip. So with this PVC pipe, Alea's gonna go ahead and she's gonna grab nice and wide, and she's gonna bend at the waist, keeping the PVC pipe in the hip crease. Then she's gonna reach out nice and wide so that she still has the full ability to keep her whole hand on the bar, and then she's going to loop her thumbs around into a hook grip. Let's go ahead and see her hook grip, please. She has her thumbs tucked in under her fingers. Okay, thank you very much. The reason we do this is it adds extra security to holding onto the bar, and it actually allows you A little bit more mobility in the clean position as well, actually, but we're not worried about that this evening. But we want to start working with a hook grip. If you don't work with a hook grip, I highly recommend that you start, okay? Now, from here, what we're going to do when we go to start the snatch is we're going, go ahead and stand up for me here real quick. You're doing a good job though, by the way. All right, so most important is when we come down into the start position, we want to kick our hips back like we're closing the car door because we've got a bunch of groceries. So kick those hips back, track those knees out, and let's keep that bar nice and close, and we're going to ride that bar down to the top of the knees. Ride that bar down to the top of the knees. Very good. Now let's drop below the knees to mid-shin. Very good. Notice that Alea's shoulders are just in front of the bar. She's got a nice straight back. Her hips are engaged. The shins are pretty well vertical. Knees are definitely not over the toes. And as she comes up, her hips and shoulders are going to rise together. Then she's going to get as tall as she can, pulling with the shoulders, leading with the elbows, and then diving under the bar, catching and standing back up. Now, the nice part about this is it is a power snatch. So because it's a power snatch, we only need to squat under the bar as much as necessary just to get under the bar and lock those arms out. Let's go through that one more time, nice and slow. So let's drop down into starting position, right? Okay, up nice and slow, hips and shoulders rise together, stand tall, shoulders, elbows, turn under the bar, catch bar, and stand up. Okay, so let's do one at full speed now, please. Good, one more time. Very good, thank you very much. And there is your power snatch. From here, we're gonna go into push-ups. So minute one, we're trying to get between 6 and 8 power snatches, okay? When I said find your sweet spot and then turn it up a notch, we can either A, shoot for the 8, or we can up the weight and do the 6 reps. Then minute 2 starts, and we're gonna go into 15 push-ups. So if we can see a push-up here real quick, one more time, just down to the floor, and back up. Very good, all right. We're gonna do that for the duration of minute 2. Now, I recommend that you put in the first 45 seconds of work so that you have 15 seconds to recover, take a deep breath, rest, get ready for the next movement. Then movement number 3 starts at the top of minute 3, and we're gonna do overhead squats. So let's go ahead and let's grab that PVC pipe, please. And just like before, we're gonna go ahead with that nice wide snatch grip. So let's find that grip, bend at the hip. All right, there we go, great. Let's get that bar overhead. Very nice, okay. And when we're in the overhead position, we wanna make sure that we're in full lockout. We've got nice positioning back, we're supporting the bar, and then as we come down into a squat, hips go back first, knees track out, over the toes, and we stand up. Whoops, we got a little off balance on that, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and let's try it again. Very good, all the way down and all the way back up. Good, let's do 2 more of those. We're gonna go through overhead squats, and we're gonna do this 10 times in the 1 minute duration that we have, or actually in the 45 seconds, so we have some time for rest. From there, thank you, we're gonna go into mountain climbers on minute 4. So we're gonna drop down in the plank position, and from here, we're gonna do high knees with our hands on the ground. So we're very good. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna go through there, we're gonna do 30 reps of mountain climbers on that minute. And we're gonna keep repeating these 4 movements for the duration of those 20 minutes. Okay. Now, if you have limited equipment, we're going to go into a different version of this. All right. So the first movement, instead of doing a regular power snatch, what we're going to work on is we're going to work on a dumbbell alternating or a kettlebell snatch. So to do this, let's go ahead and let's turn and face 45 degree. There we go. We're going to do this with a dumbbell. All right. So we're going to start with the dumbbell on the floor. We're going to reach down with our palm facing out. So let's come on down into a squat. Very good, we're gonna grab that, and as we come up, our hips and shoulders are gonna rise together. Then we're gonna lead with our elbow like we're zipping up our jacket, all right? After we get to that point, then we're gonna pop under just like we did with the power snatch, right? Then we're gonna bring it on down, and let's switch arms. Very good, and we start in the squat, very good. Hand out, lead with the elbow, pop, very good. Let's switch, let's do 2 more reps, just like that. Very good, thank you. So, important that we lead with the elbow, come up through the center of the body, just like we're zipping up our jacket, popping under the dumbbell as we extend and punch to the ceiling. 1 more time, please. Very good. All right, and there you have a dumbbell or kettlebell alternating snatch. From here, we're gonna go into push-ups. We've already seen those. Let's go ahead and let's hang on to that dumbbell, actually. We're gonna use that for a goblet squat. All right, so minute number 3, we're going into 14 goblet squats. So we're gonna grab the top head of the dumbbell. We're gonna hold it tight against our chest here, and we are implementing what would be a front squat, but with a dumbbell or a kettlebell. We're gonna hold it tight, and then we're gonna go ahead and we're going to do goblet squats. So let's go ahead and drop in into a full squat, back up. Good, 2 more, please. There's 2, and 1 more. 3, very good. Now, if you're not gonna do the goblet squat, a variation of that you can do is a single arm dumbbell or kettlebell overhead squat. So let's go ahead and stand there. Let's hold there we go, in the up position, and let's go for a squat. There we go. And that is a dumbbell overhead squat, okay? From there, we drop down into the next minute, and we go back into our mountain climbers, 30. So again, just to go through this one more time, 12 to 14 alternating dumbbell or kettlebell snatches. Minute 2, 15 push-ups. Minute 3, 14 goblet squats, or 5 single arm dumbbell or kettlebell overhead squats. And minute 4 is 30 mountain climbers, just like the variation before. Last but certainly not least, we have the no equipment version. This is going to be our at-home body weight version. First one, 15 push-ups. So we just drop down and we do 15 push-ups for the first minute. The second minute, we're gonna do 40 seconds of overhead squats with a broomstick, right? So just like we were doing with the PVC pipe, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna have that nice wide snatch grip. We're gonna position that barbell straight overhead, lock out, and as we come on down, hips back, knees tracking out, dropping in, and back up. So we're gonna do as many repetitions as we can in 40 seconds. And then we're gonna move on to the next movement, which is 30 mountain climbers, those high knees while we're in the plank position. And then last but certainly not least, minute number 4 is going to be 40 seconds of jumping lunges. So with a jumping lunge, we start with our feet just under our hips. So spread those feet just a little bit, please. There we go. Toes track out slightly. Very good. Let's go ahead and drop down to the bottom of the squat, and then we're gonna jump from the bottom straight up. Just like yesterday's workout. And up. Nope. That's a jumping lunge.
Oh.
That's okay. Remember, we're gonna come down.
Jumping lunges.
It does say jumping lunges. I stand corrected. All right. So let's check out the jumping lunges because that's what you had going on.
Did I do it right?
You did do it right, actually. So let's go ahead into a lunge. And from there, we're gonna jump and go into the opposite. Very good. You got it. All right. I read that completely wrong. So jumping lunges. I do apologize. I've been corrected. So we're gonna do that as many times as we can for 40 seconds of that 4th minute. So minute 1 is 15 push-ups. Minute 2, 40 seconds of the overhead squat with a broomstick or something like that. Mop handle, anything that you got laying around that you can hold overhead. Minute 3, 30 mountain climbers, and minute 4, 40 seconds of the jumping lunges, not the jumping squats. That was yesterday, my bad. That's all we got for you this evening, so hope this helps. Like always, talk to your coaches, reach out, leave a comment below. We'll have the link up on the YouTube channel. It is now public, so you don't need any specific links or anything. All you gotta do is just look up the YouTube channel and hit subscribe. That way you end up getting notifications nightly as these videos populate. So that's all we got. You guys have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.